Hello, I'm Jeff Crawford for Journo.com, and this is my review for my PC, the Dell Studio XPS8100. I have the black case version. When I bought it, it came with 8 gigabytes of RAM, a terabyte hard drive, and Windows 7 Pro on a Intel i5 quad-core processor. The good thing about the machine is it's a high-quality machine. It's not quite a top-flight gaming rig, but it's a very good machine, and you can upgrade it till it's in the gaming rig range, and it's pretty close already. It has 4 HDMI outputs, so you can hook up all sorts of monitors to it. You can hook up your TV to it and have it across the room. In fact, that's something I've been kind of wanting to do. I play a lot of strategy games, and I kind of think having a TV across the room with a big map of whatever I'm playing would just kind of heighten the ambience. I haven't had the money to do that. Probably won't have the money for quite a while. And like I said, it's got that giant terabyte hard drive and a lot of input, so you can put whatever peripherals you want on it. The reason I bought the machine was the machine I had before this was a E-Machine open box special I bought for $300. And when I got into school, I actually, for a couple of my classes, they gave me PDF files that were like 80 pages long. Well, it would crash my E-Machine. Like, I couldn't actually get the textbook for the class because my computer would crash every time I tried to open it, which for that particular class kind of was terrible because the instructor was one of those guys that has kind of like copy protection where you have to go through the book and answer a question, directly out of the book in order to prove that you've been reading it. And I had a terrible time with that because I couldn't open the document. So I went down to Best Buy. I was like, give me the best computer you have because I'm tired of being outdated. And this is what they had. And it's been a pretty good machine. There are some bad things about it. The build quality isn't that great. For the first couple months I had it, it ran smooth, great, ran everything I wanted it to. Well, eventually got to the point where all of a sudden the game would freeze. I'd just hear coming through the speakers, not from the machine itself, just coming through the speakers, and it would crash. And it took me a while to figure out what it was, but when I cracked open the case and finally got to looking at the video card, the fan was clogged with dust. So the airflow isn't that good. So that's a design issue. But where the build quality comes in is the fan that was on the motherboard and the fan that was on the video card. They weren't bolted on right. There were about 2 bolts on it that weren't put in correctly. So I had to go in there, put them back in. And the video card, I got it put in, but it still gets clogged every so often, so I have to be religious about maintaining it. I have to go in there about once a week, spray it out, and make sure the fan's spinning, because otherwise it'll overheat, crash, and I'll have, my really badass run in a video game will be halted by, and I'll be trying to figure out what the hell went wrong. It has some features that I don't really use. It has this integrated 3D support where you can set things up and it'll put a stereoscopic screen. And you could put on 3D glasses and watch your stuff in 3D. And I just never use it. I've never found a use for it. And I couldn't even tell you how it works. I've tried it a couple times just on a lark. And it's kind of neat, but I don't really have a need for it. But all in all, it's a pretty good machine, and unless you want to build your own rig, this is probably about as high as you're going to get, just for off-the-shelf machines. It's got a video card that's separate, so you can swap it out and replace it, which a lot of machines, especially all-in-ones, it's all on the same card, so if you need to upgrade, you have to buy a whole new machine. You can't integrate it and put a new video card. Even with, like, tower desktops, a lot of time, if they have an integrated sound video card on the main board, you can't swap it out. If you try to plug another one in, and have 2 cards, it'll be a hardware conflict, and you can't upgrade your machine without buying a whole new machine, which is very frustrating because video card is like $300-500, and a whole new machine can be like $1,500. So it's a good machine. Unless you want to get into custom rigs, if you're just new in the market, it'll do you pretty well. So once again, that's the Dell XPS8100. It served me well despite some issues, and I don't really have a problem with stopping every week and cleaning my stuff up. So for Journo.com, I'm Jeff Crawford, and this has been my review of this Dell Studio XPS8100.